Joe Diomede in South Orange, New Jersey. Telemann Braun has gone over to America for a few weeks and this summer. And I'm here with my cousin Jennifer Berkeley, and her road has taken her from the Bronx, same street as mine, over to Los Angeles, from Los Angeles to Pittsburgh. And it's been a very interesting path from school teacher to in the financial world to where she is now. And I'm going to introduce you to Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you? It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's very good being here with you. So tell me, so where that path that left from the same household we both grew up in, where is it taking you, and what are you doing right now in South Orange, New Jersey?
Well, the path has taken me, I was always a seeker even growing up. I knew that I was meant for things that were beyond what I was born into. And so at the early age of my early 20s, I moved out to Los Angeles, and I began to really seek something in a spiritual realm that was not really conducive with my upbringing, although I didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I found a spiritual teaching which is called Science of Mind, and it really, really, really changed my life. And I had many twists and turns, ups and downs in between and through all of that, including a brief stay in Pittsburgh where I worked at Carnegie Mellon University, and eventually found my way back to New York 20 years ago, where I was in the middle of a very lucrative career in the financial industry.
Right, so that lucrative career in the financial industry, what did you realize it was hollow? What happened? Why did you change from that career and to become what you are now, and tell us what you are now, actually?
Well, right now, I am serving as the spiritual director for the Rockland Center for Spiritual Living, which is a new thought community based in the Science of Mind teaching, and I do that full-time at this moment. I've been their spiritual director for the last year and a half. Prior to that, I had a bead store where I sold beads. It was called The Beaded Path. And prior to that, I was in the financial industry. And literally one day I woke up, it was a Friday, I was on the road constantly. My BlackBerry was buzzing next to my bed 24/7. And one Friday morning I woke up and I said, that's it, I'm done. It was just an instinct, it was a push, it was like a vision that I started to catch that just pulled me forward, and there was no turning back from that point. And that day, literally that day, I was working from home that day, and within 8 hours and 5 telephone conversations, I completely walked away from my career with no regrets.
Wow, so that was it, the life-changing moment, and literally that was a moment. I mean, a day, and you know, to go from working to not in that field. And so what are you now? I call you Reverend Jennifer.
Yes.
So tell us quickly how long, so that path from that day and now you're a reverend, you know, how long did that take? What was the process?
Well, the process, it started actually when I lived in Los Angeles. I started my training as a religious science practitioner, which is a prerequisite to what I'm doing now. And that training was 3 years. And from there, I practiced that. And I started ministerial training in New Jersey. And that was another 4-year process. And then I became a minister. I was a staff minister at another center in New Jersey for some time, for 4 years, and then I started my own center, and then I moved to Rockland County. And so it's a many-year process, much study, testing, panels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then 2 years ago, I actually became ordained after serving as a licensed minister for 6 years.
And you have a center here in Orange, and where's your main center?
Well, actually, I closed the center down here in South Orange. I'm part of a cooperative here in South Orange, and I am just running one center or working with one center in Rockland County. The main, or the home office to the whole organization is in Golden, Colorado, so we are part of that organization, and there are literally, you know, hundreds and hundreds of centers around the world. So I'm part of that whole organization. And I also had a bead store in between, which was really the aha moment for me, because when I left the financial industry, I was doing a practice that I do, which is called visioning. And for many years, when I was visioning, I would get this sort of this whisper in my head that said, seeds, you have to plant seeds. And I thought it was something about me traveling all over the place and being somewhat of a missionary and starting things and, you know, moving on and starting things somewhere else. And one day, right after I left my job, it was actually Friday, the next day, I was at a full-day retreat, and I was doing some visioning with a large group of people, and I literally heard the words, and it was not seeds but beads. And then the next day, I found the perfect spot for my bead store, and I had a very successful bead business for 10 years where I made jewelry, I sold beads, I taught classes, I, had parties for kids, and it was during that course of time that I really ripened my ministerial studies and training.
Excellent. Wow. So the stepping stone, the wiggly paths we all lead, and another interesting life here on Telly-Mon-Bron. Joe Diomede, South Orange, speaking to Jennifer Berkeley, and what a life, what an interesting path, the beaded path right now to the Reverend of the Spiritual Center in Rockland County. Thank you very much, Jen. Thank you. Telly-Mon-Bron, Joe Diomede. More from New York and the area in the next few weeks. Bye.